Hi, Lovey. Come on in, come on in, come on in. So we're gonna have a conversation today. A lot of women will say things like, people are intimidated by me. I'm so, that's kind of what's going on, but that's not really what's going on. And we're gonna talk about it today. Let me put a thing in here so I can make sure it's charging, child, because I ain't got time for my phone to die. Let me know in the comments where you're watching from. Let me know in the comments where you are watching from. And send this to another amazing woman leader. For those who do not know who I am, my name is Elle Antoinette, and I'm an energetics and identity mentor. And what I do specifically is I support my amazing clients who are visionary, powerful women, and I support them in dissolving invisible ceilings so that they can embody their emotional and energetic authority. This way that their relationships, their leadership, and their wealth reflect their design. What a lot of women are suffering with right now in the form of burnout is women who have been doing things that they are not designed to do. And so now it's put them in a position for them to be exhausted. Okay. Hey, Louisiana. Hey, Tanzania, East Africa. I love that. But women have been able to perform to be able to get things, to get money. Hi, Lovey. To get money, to get men, to do all these things. And then they're realizing that all that performing, none of it actually works. So, and all that performing is literally burning them out. And because they're being burnt out and because they're exhausted, thank you, my love, for these gifts, these likes. Because they're burnt out and because they're exhausted, they're now trying to figure out what the next move needs to be. And the next move that needs to take place is that you need to come back to yourself. We are now in an era and in an age where everything is very quick. Everything is moving very fast. You even hear IT professionals saying that AI is coming so fast that they can't even keep up. So what women have to realize is that you're not going to be able to outperform these things. What's going to set you apart is you being in alignment with yourself, because that's going to make you different. You're going to be more of a breath of fresh air. Okay? So this one is going to be for all the women who think that they're intimidating, because they're not. And I'm going to tell you something. I used to think I was intimidating. I used to think that women, now one thing about me, I do have an energy about myself that makes you straighten up. It makes you adjust yourself, because I'm a bit of a mirror. So if you don't like your reality and you don't like yourself, you may have a very hard time with me. Thank you, my love, for these likes and these gifts. You're going to have a really hard time with me because I'm not adjusting my energy for your comfort. I'm not rude, right? I'm not dishonorable, but I'm not adjusting my energy for your comfort. And I used to feel like that energy that I had within me was like, oh, it's just so intimidating. And I used to really be in my ego about it. But in reality, I wasn't really intimidating at all. I was overfunctioning. Yeah. And that's what a lot of women do. A lot of women think that they are intimidating when in reality you are overfunctioning. And that's what we're going to talk about today. Okay? So this session is you are overfunctioning. I'm sorry, you are not intimidating. You are overfunctioning. So I'm going to tell you who this live is for. Okay? This live is for the woman who gets results but doesn't feel safe in them. What I mean by that is you may be really great at manifesting things or bringing things or things happening in your life, but you don't feel safe. You question things. If someone was to call you right now, or if you got a check in the mail and the check was for $500,000 and it had your name on it, and you couldn't really clearly, initially when you saw that check, you panicked or you freaked out. That means that you don't feel safe to receive. When you understand your spiritual nature and you understand your core and you understand what it says in scripture, if you live by scripture, that the Most High, will always take care of his own according to his riches and glory, right? So if you understand that sowing and reaping is a principle and all you do is sow value, then why don't you expect to receive value in the form of possibly a mail check, in the form of, hey, Lovey, in the form of someone coming in and saying, hey, this is what I have for you. This is what I'm dropping for you. Why is it that you get nervous and why do you have anxiety around that? It's because you're not ready to receive. You feel uncomfortable receiving. You don't feel safe in the space of that. And this is something that's very important that women need to pay attention to. This is also for the woman who says she's strong, but she's secretly exhausted. This is for the woman who believes that she's intimidating, but in reality, she's overcompensating. And this is for the woman who's ready to lead from peace and not pressure. This live is not heavy on the knot, okay? For the woman who wants to keep outsourcing her value to strategy, struggle, or survival. This is not going to be the live for you. If you are one who is engaged, who is so focused and engaged in what is happening on the news and what they're saying, what the future is going to be like according to the news, this is not going to be the live for you, because I'm going to tell you something. You got to be very careful of the fear-mongering programming. When you root yourself spiritually in who you are, you understand what's going on. You just need to make sure that you're in alignment to receive. Because like I always say all the time, for those of you who are saying, oh, we're in a recession, we're in this, we're in that, right? What you need to remember anytime there are money issues in a country, right? In the form of a recession or depression or whatever, there are three groups of people. There are the receivers. Those are the people who get money. Because in every scenario like this, there is a top level. There are people who are getting money. So there are the receivers. There are the deceivers. The deceivers are the ones who are using fear-mongering programming to keep people in cycles. Okay? And then there are the deceived. You need to figure out which group you are in. And if you are in the deceiver group, which that's a very, very small percentage, because you have to have quite a bit of power and quite a bit of capital to really be a deceiver. And you have to understand how to really manipulate energy. So you almost probably are into some occult things. So if you're in that type of space, those where the deceivers are, because they have the money. They have the money to pay the stations and to pay the programming that gets put out there. So most of you are not in the deceiver category. I'm not in the deceiver category, okay? You need to make sure if you're in the deceived category that you pivot immediately to the receiver category. How do you pivot to the receiver category? Is for you to pay attention to what is important, to you to pay attention to what is vital at this moment, for you to pay attention, instead of allowing society in these news programs to put fear-mongering content in your mind. Okay? Thank you, my love, for these gifts. Like, welcome. Be careful, because a lot of you are being deceived, and there's money being received over your head while they're telling you there isn't any. There's plenty. It's being moved over your head. And I'm going to tell you something. You will only go as far or expand as wide as your circle. I've been telling y'all what I've been saying all year. You need community. You need money and you need community. You will only go as wide as your community, your circle, and you will only elevate as high as your thinking. And if you are programming your mind and allowing it to be filled with fear-mongering things in the news and this and that, you are lowering your vibration, which means that you're not going to be able to focus on the things that you need to be focusing on, which means that you're not going to be operating in your assignment, which means that you're going to miss the mark. And to miss the mark means to sin. And just imagine spending all your life not smoking, not drinking, not doing none of that, but still missing the mark and still having an answer for it. What are you going to say? You were afraid? What are you going to say? You were scared? Like, you were scared when fear is not a spirit that the Most High gives. Thank you, my love. Thank you, love you too, for these gifts. Right? So these are the things that we really need to be paying attention to. What group are you in? Really pay attention right now. Are you in the receiver group or are you in the deceived group? Which means that you have bought into what the deceiver has been selling. And if you didn't catch it, you need to go to my YouTube right now and subscribe and watch that video where I talk about how the game is sold and the game is told. But see, they tell you one thing, but they secretly sell you something else. You have to go on YouTube to go get it. I did it, I think, last week or so. What, a week before? I did it before the week before my father passed, so it had to be either before the 17th of August. But I'm giving you everything in there. But today, I want women to come out of this energy that you are so intimidating. Men just can't handle me. You know who need handlers? You know who need handlers? Animals. I want you to really be asking yourself when you're saying these things, men can't handle me. The same name that's on here, FemRU.M. Men can't handle me. Women always hating on me. These people are intimidated about me. Intimidated by me. No, they're not. They can see through you. Thank you, Lovey. I appreciate that. They can see through you. They're not intimidated by you. So we're going to get into it. You're not intimidating. You are overfunctioning. And that's just the truth. You're not too much either. You're just too tired. You're not powerful. You're pretending. See, people who like to get in the energy of feeling like you intimidating somebody or you're doing this and by the way you look and your resting bee face and all this type of stuff, you're not powerful. You are pretending. Because the reality of the situation is real power doesn't even have to speak. See, a woman that's in the fullness of her power, when she walks into the room, the last thing she does is speak. But she pulls everybody in with her energy. She knows how to magnetize the room. A woman who is rooted in understanding herself can captivate the room because she understands that she's a thermostat, not a thermometer. See, most women are thermometers. Your temperature go up and down depending on your circumstance. Much like your faith, your faith go up and down with your circumstance and your situations. So you are a thermometer. 1 minute you're hot, the next minute you're cold, the middle you're lukewarm, you're this and you're that. You are easily influenced by external stimuli. You are easily influenced, right, by external stimuli. All because you're trying to make it seem like you're powerful when you're not. You say things like, I intimidate men, but what you really mean is, I don't trust. So let's talk about it. Here's the real thing. When you say I intimidate men, here's what people who are attuned and who understand themselves hear. Okay? I don't trust anyone to stay, right? If I soften. If I become vulnerable, if I soften myself, they're going to think I'm a sucker and nobody is going to stay. So I have to put on this persona as if I intimidate men. When in reality, you are intimidated by the very men that you claim to intimidate. You're not intimidated by them, and men are not stupid. They're not going to tell you that you don't intimidate them. They're going to let you, especially the ones that are predators, they're going to let you keep playing the game and making you think that you're being intimidated when they can see through all of that. When you say, I intimidate men, what you were saying is, I don't trust anyone to stay. Little Miss Abandonment Issues. If I soften, they're going to leave. They're going to think I'm a sucker. If I'm doing this. Let me tell you something. If you are a person who operates heart-centered, and I'm a very heart-centered woman, right? People who know me know I'm very heart-centered. When you are a heart-centered woman, you don't alter your softness. You don't alter your core. You don't change the fact that you are a lover girl. You don't alter that. You protect that. You protect that. This is what it talks about when it says in Proverbs 4:23, guard your heart above everything else because from it flows life. The reason why these women have these challenges that the men, what do you mean he drained the life out of me, is because you were not guarding your heart. There are no gates around you. You just let anybody can walk onto your energetic field. And women who do this are women who do not understand the value of their heart space. Okay? It's challenging when you're in survival mode. The overshadows the heart. I'll say this: survival mode is slavery, and it's a mindset. It starts in the spirit, but it's a mindset. It's a mindset. If you want to come out of survival mode, then you have to make the executive decision. Hear what I'm telling you. Executive decision, meaning that you have to become in charge of your mindset Over you have to decide, I'm running my mind. I'm running my thoughts. My body is not running me. I'm running it. I'm the one that's in charge. You need to make an executive decision that says, I am going to leave the mansion of a monstrosity, of a mess of my mind, where there's overthinking, overanalyzing everything, disrespect to myself because the inner critic is so loud, being consumed with my thoughts. You have to make a decision to leave that place, to enter into the heart space of the kingdom of heaven within you. You are always going to be in survival mode if you stay here. You will always be a slave to the system if you stay here, which is why it's very important, and it tells you in scripture to guard your gates, because you have to be careful, because there is subliminal programming everywhere that's constantly reminding you that you're not good enough, that you need to do more, that this is not working, that all is negative stuff, to the point to where you don't even see anything elevated about yourself. You don't even see anything enhanced about yourself. You don't even see anything great about yourself. And this is how you fall into the pattern of external validation, because you don't see yourself. You want that man to see you. This will y'all be pissing me off. Because you don't validate yourself. You are not an energetic match for an experience that you don't provide yourself, or you don't have the room or the capacity to receive. You are out here seeking external validation because you don't validate yourself. And a lot of you seek external validation and call it lonely. See, a lot of y'all not even lonely for real. Oh, I'm lonely, I just want a man. You're not lonely. You're not being validated by a person in this moment. You won't validate yourself. Because if somebody was taking you out and somebody was taking you on a date and they were telling you that you were beautiful and all these things, you wouldn't say that you were lonely, even though this a stranger that you just met. See, this would be making me mad. This a stranger that you just met. And you're saying, oh, I don't feel lonely. You know, you're not, all of a sudden you don't feel lonely anymore. You out with a stranger. And just because they validated you by taking you out and telling you that you are beautiful, you now are not alone. You were never lonely. Y'all got to pay attention to that. See, these the tricks in the sorcery and the witchcraft that you let yourself be under by believing these things. You ain't lonely. You're not being validated in that moment. So guess what? Validate yourself. This is where you take yourself out. Oh, it's weird. It's weird going out by myself. It's weird. So it's weird for you to go out by yourself. You don't think you're going to be weird going out with somebody else when you don't even like going out with yourself? You don't even... Do y'all see the logic that a lot of women think? Like, you don't like yourself and you're wondering why the man doesn't like you? Like, you don't like yourself and you out here talking about you got haters because you just so intimidating nobody likes you? These are the lies that you tell yourself, just like you're telling yourself that you're lonely. No, you need to learn how to validate yourself. Why can't you validate yourself? Because you don't know your value. See, it's hard to validate something that you don't know has value. Let's break this down when y'all go to go get your car validated. Let's even use something as simple as that, right? You're going to get your car validated when you go to this restaurant because you don't want to pay for parking. In your mind, you see the value in saving money. So you're going to, hi Lovey, so you're going to get your car, your parking validated because you see the value in that, in doing that. When you see the value in yourself, you will validate yourself. And the more you validate yourself, the people who are in alignment with you on the vibrational state that you're on will also affirm what they're seeing in you. See, a lot of y'all are seeking external validation when in reality, you just want affirmation. But affirmation from other people, which is not a priority anyway, let's start there. Thank you, my love, for these gifts. It's not a priority. Let's start there. But if you so-called are craving or wanting the affirmations of people, it is a byproduct of you validating yourself and knowing your own value. Yeah. The reason why the good jewelry is in the back under lock and key, hi Lovey, is because the jeweler understands the value. So he puts the cheaper stuff in the front. If the robbers want to come in and steal it, right, they're going to get the cheaper stuff in the front. They're not going to get the stuff in the back because it's under lock and key, because the value is understood. And when the value is understood, that means that's an exclusive experience, which means you have to be invited in. See, most of the time with jewelry, if you ever been in a jewelry experience, to really see the real stuff, you need an invitation. You need an invitation. See, I don't know nothing about that. To see the real jewelry, the real ones. See, this is where they pull out the stops, the private invitation. Yeah, let's bring you back and have some champagne, because they see the value in you, and they know that you're gonna. These are the things you have to pay attention to, because it is so vital and so important. So I'm learning to put myself first. It's so hard, so much conditioning to undo. Absolutely, I've been there. I have been there. So let's talk about the other space. When we talk about other women, oh, these women are hating on me, or they just can't handle me. What you really are saying is, when we talking about women here, we talking about each other. When you were saying that other women can't really see you, and they really just be hating on you, and this and this and that, you know what you're doing? You're inviting them to hate on you, because what you're really saying energetically, subconsciously is, I brace for betrayal before it happens. See, y'all don't even be having no haters. You make them come. You create them. You create them. You create them. Oh, I don't trust people. See, I don't trust people. You prepare yourself for betrayal, and then you wonder why you attract betrayal. I mean, that's what the capacity was. That I don't see how you don't catch that. Your capacity was set for betrayal. Your capacity wasn't set for a healthy friendship or a healthy relationship. It was set for betrayal. That's how you coming. I don't really get along with women like that. The energy is saying let me tell you something. You have calibrated the energy of, I'm not about to get along with y'all. I'm not about to get along with y'all. Hi, lovies. Just like how when you speak to people a certain kind of way, it elevates their frequency. For example, walking, and I want you to just try this. If you don't believe me, I want you to try this real quick. Next time you see somebody. If you are a man on this live, or if you are a woman if you're a man on this live or a woman on this live, I'm going to give you two examples. If you are a woman on this live, the next time, I'm Southern, so we walk, we say hello, right? Or we speak. The next time you go out and you see someone, a woman, and it's a man and y'all walk by and it's casual and you're speaking, when you speak, hello, sir, how are you? Or when he opens the door, thank you, such a gentleman. When you call somebody certain things, they show up. They show up. When I see, and I've done this in several different elements. When a man is seeing a woman, he said, "How you doing, Miss Lady?" Something in her activates, and she wants to be, and she's going to operate as that lady, because that is what you set the tone for. See, I coached for 10 years in one of the poorest and the most dangerous neighborhoods in Memphis, Tennessee, when I was in my 20s, right? My girls used to crack jokes and be like, they call me Miss Toya. So they used to crack jokes and be like, all the thugs they respect and love Miss Toya. Because when I came in and I saw them, and they were doing whatever it is that they were doing, how y'all doing, young men? Oh, we doing good. They pulling up pants. They putting their flags to the back. We doing good. So you doing all right? You good? Yeah, I'm good, baby. It's how you address and how you step to people. That's one of my babies right there, y'all. She grown now. She said, absolutely, this is a true story. She's one of my babies I used to coach. I used to coach girls for 10 years. And it's one of the best experiences of my life, and it set me up for what I do now. But how you address, right, someone, or how you address an experience, and how you set the tone for the experience is how the experience is going to go. It has no choice, because it becomes law. It becomes law. The law that you set, the tone that you set. Women are responsible for the atmosphere. Thank you, my love, for these gifts. Women are responsible for the atmosphere. That's why they say things like a man buys a house, a woman makes it a home. You set the tone of the atmosphere. So if you coming out the gate saying they be hating, girls be hating on me, I don't never really get along with women. The woman that you are speaking to, prepare for a betrayal. Prepare for it. You're not going into the scenario saying, you know what, I'm just going to observe and assess and see if this aligns with me. And if it doesn't, I'm going to not be a part of it. I'm going to not be in this friendship. And if it does, then I'm going to rock with it. It's real simple. All that, I don't really be around female. You're setting this up. You're setting this up. And I'm not just telling you something. I'm telling you something that's law. I'm telling you what's real. And that's why you're getting burnt out in friendships. And that's why you're getting burnt out in relationships. Y'all are lovers girls trying to act like you not lover girls by trying to act like you powerful and play these games. Y'all playing, and I'm going to be honest with you. A lot of y'all are playing mental games with men that have spiritual consequences. And y'all not ready for them consequences. When you are rooted in who you are spiritually, you don't have to play these games because you can magnetize what you desire into your reality because you only entertaining what's aligned. You only entertaining what's aligned. So you can have whatever experience you want because you're only entertaining what is aligned. But when you're out here trying to pretend like you not a lover girl and you this and you that and you ain't going and you ain't playing, people can see through that. People who always have to say, I'm real, I'm the realest you know. The realest you know gonna have real fruit. They ain't gonna have GMO fruit. It's gonna be consistent fruit. And these are the things you have to pay attention to. Pretending, pretentious things, when you attract anything under false pretenses, it's a form of manipulation, it's a form of sorcery, it's a form of evil. And it tells you in Proverbs specifically that when you attract things or you gain things from evil intent, you cannot keep those things. This is why you are required to keep it real. You are required to keep it real in your experiences, because if you don't, the return is you're going to be met with a lie. You're going to be met with this. You're going to pay the universal consequence. Because the way that the Most High designed the universe, it picks up on the real frequency of who you are, not what you try to put on the airwaves on Instagram and on TikTok, on Facebook or wherever else. It is responding to the truth of who you are, your thoughts, your energy, which are your emotions. Emotions are nothing but energy and motion. Your effort, whatever it is that you are sowing, you are going to reap. You are bound to reap. And the crazy part about it, y'all, the more I age, the more I'm able to see from elders and different things how one decision in your 20s can come back and hit you in the face in your 50s. This is why I tell women, as a woman, you need to know how to play chess. You need to find the smartest, nerdiest dude that's really into chess that could break the whole thing down for you. And I mean, you need to learn how to play chess, because when you learn how to play chess, you're going to learn how to play life. You're going to learn life. Chess teaches you about the importance of understanding how to move and about making your next move your best move, because it could be your last move. Another game, if we just want to get into the games, and let's just say, we want to think, 2 games I feel like you should know. 3. Okay? I'm a millennial, so I'm old school with it. Number 1 is going to be chess. Gotta know chess. Gotta understand the position of the queen. Gotta understand the importance of how you move. It ain't never really what you do. It's more so of how you do everything. Okay? The second game is very important in this life that you need to play. Everybody jokes around with it. You might want to play Monopoly again. If you ain't played Monopoly in a long time, you might want to play Monopoly again. Because what you are seeing happen with the money and different things is a lot of Monopoly. A lot of Monopoly. And if you understand Monopoly, then you will begin to understand money and moves and the importance. It's not, really think about it. They've been buying up all the real estate. Monopoly. They're in charge of the banks. Monopoly. I'm just telling you to go pay attention. The third game that you should know how to play very well should be the game of life. That is a game. Chess, Monopoly, game of life. Those three things are going to enhance your ability to be more strategic in this life. And this life is about how you move, which requires strategy. Even when you're getting married and you're partnering, because hear me when I'm telling you, I don't think women understand this. When you're getting married, you understand that you're joining a bloodline. You understand that? There's not no small potatoes. There's not no small potatoes. When you decide to join a bloodline, you inherit the blessings and the curses of that bloodline. Yeah. So these are the things that you really need to think about. If you're not strategic and you don't know how to strategically align, then you're going to be in trouble if you're trying to join bloodlines. You're going to be in trouble. These are the things that you really need to be thinking about. Learn how to play chess. Run a couple of games of Monopoly at least once a week so you can get some understanding, and play the game of life. That's going to enhance your ability to be strategic. That's going to enhance your ability to understand how to move. That's going to support you in understanding how a lot of the systems around you were set up in order to keep you in a state of slavery. Okay? Because it's in your face. It's in your face. And I want to tell you something else. Here's why it's so important that you have to pay attention. You have to guard your gates. Because, and I talk about this all the time, when it comes down to demonic influence, right? When it comes down to demonic influence or dark powers and principalities and all those things, it's two things that they need: permission and an access point. To be able to get to you, they need permission and they need an access point. What a lot of people don't understand about that is that when it comes down to this whole, how can I say this? Because I want to say this right without these folks banning me. Hold on, let me think for a second. When it comes down to demonic influence, you have to make sure that you are checking yourself for no access points and for you not giving permission. You give permission with your eyes, you give permission with your ears, you give permission with your womb. I'm going to say that again. You give permission with your eyes, you give permission with your ears, you give permission with your womb. The things that you participate in those areas, in those aspects, those are access points. Those are access points. So whatever you give permission to, come into your portal, come into your space, because they're coming into your universe. Things that come through your eyes are coming into your universe. Things that are coming into your womb are going from your portal. Things that are coming into your ear. Same thing. Music is a medium. Music is a medium. It's a very powerful medium, which is why they use it, because it's able to channel a message to your brain without you even being aware of it. This is why, again, it's very important for you to guard your gates and be very careful about what you give permission to. Because the things that you are giving permission to are sucking the life force out of you. Every time you are, hey, lovey, you are allowing yourself access to your womb, they are pulling from you. Anytime that you are watching something that is sending you a program that supports you in going against yourself, they are pulling from you. They're siphoning your essence from you. You're not good enough. Siphoning your essence. I always hear all the time when people move to LA, they have a bit of a hard time because every time they go outside, they're being reminded that they're not good enough. Okay, you need a boob job. This is where you can go to do this. This is where you can go to do that. And a lot of people talk about how depressing it is for them to be in that experience and always feel like they're never, ever, ever, ever good enough. They're never, ever having these ideas about yourself that are not real, that's keeping you disconnected from your core, is burning you out. And like I tell you, the perfect example of burnout is a warning. See, a lot of y'all think burnout is like, oh, I'm just so burnt out, I just can't do nothing else. Oh, you can do something else. You can croak out. And I'm not even kidding. Burnout is a warning. It's like your car telling you running hot. Your vehicle is saying you're running hot. That's what burnout is. There is burnout and then there is breakdown. When you look at a vehicle, it's only going to run hot for so many times you're going to be able to ride like that. And then eventually it's going to break down. You're going to blow that motor. You're going to blow it. So the thing is, or the radiator or whatever, you're going to blow it. You cannot afford to continue to be walking around here pretending power, pretending that you were so, oh, I'm just so, I'm intimidating these people. You scared. See, tell the truth. People who claim to be intimidating are the most scariest people that I have ever met. And this is coming from someone who used to be on the same type of time. Not scared in the sense like I wouldn't get them up. Not scared in the sense of like you're going to do something to me. But scared in the sense that you're going to see that I'm really a softie and you're going to hurt me. Because I don't have the power to set my own, but I don't have the strength to set my own boundaries. And I don't want you to really see me. So I'm going to act like I'm angry. I'm going to act like I'm intimidating. I'm going to act these things so you don't see me. And these are some of the things, that's some of the things that women tend to do all of the time. Thank you, lovey. And it burns them out. According to Deloitte Women, and this is a stat that I found, 90% of women report burnout. 70% would rather do it all themselves than ask for help. Jeez. I'm going to say it again. This is a stat. 90% of women report burnout. 70% would rather do it all themselves than ask for help. You wouldn't rather do it by yourself. You're doing it by yourself because you feel like you have to. Excuse me. You're doing it by yourself because you feel like nobody's going to do it like you. You're doing it by yourself because you don't trust anybody else to do it. You're doing it by yourself because you've always had to do it by yourself and you just don't want to be let down. See, men lie, women lie. Numbers can be crunched, data can be skewed. But the one thing that's always going to be the same is your energetics is always going to tell the truth, and it's going to tell the truth about you. You are saying one thing thinking that we ain't feeling the other thing. You are saying one thing thinking that we're not going to know and see you. We do. We do. Consider yourself exposed. 70% would rather do it all themselves instead of ask for help. Do you see how insane that sounds? But then I guarantee you out of that 70% of women who are saying they'd rather do it all themselves are the main ones who complaining about how men don't show up for them and who don't help them and who don't do this. Well, I shouldn't have to ask, well, you know what? Do what you want. Because the scripture even say ask and you shall receive. Seek and you, not seek, not for that. But ask and you shall receive. Y'all won't even ask. You won't even ask. And you're wondering why nobody's showing up for you. Well, they should just know. They see what I'm doing. Girl, who watching you? Do you see what's happening in the world right now? Folks trying to get focused and see what's going on. They're not looking at what you're doing. They appreciate what you're doing, but they're not checking for everything you're doing because that's not automatically them. And if you want something from them and they value the relationship, guess what? They're going to step up to the plate or they're going to get lost. A win is a win. Because if they get lost, you can get somebody else in the space. Shouldn't they take a hint? No. Because I'm going to tell you something. I'm 41 years old. I'm never taking a hint. Never. I'm never taking a hint. I don't even do indirect, passive-aggressive, subliminal things that women like to do all the time. I don't do none of that. Here's the thing. If it ain't directed, it ain't respected. If it ain't directed, it ain't respected. If you have an issue or you got something going on and you don't direct it to me, then I'm not participating in the experience. I'm not participating in the experience. If you have a problem with me, now let me step back out the chair, but agree. But you got a problem with me, baby, I'm not. Somebody would be like, oh, this person don't like you. She said, girl, I'm not calling that wench to see what it is that she got, an issue she got with me. Because if she had an issue that was so strong, why she ain't call my phone? I'm not the one with the problem. If it ain't directed, it ain't respected. Because I guarantee you, if I got a problem with you, the only one who is in the center of that, I'm going to go to the Most High to make sure I'm proper when I speak. But other than that, I don't need no middleman, boo. I'm going to tell you directly what I want. I'm going to tell you directly what I don't want. Point blank, period, the end. For real. Like, I can't do no hint. Mm-mm. I ain't gonna do it at all. People pleasing, let me say, people pleasing and will go and do anything for anybody anytime without being asked for their partner. Right, and you should be scared of that. You should be scared of that. See, women have to think. The worst thing that you can do is try to use a people pleaser. On everything I love, the worst thing that you can do is try to do this with a people pleaser. And the reason why, and you should be very afraid of that, the reason why I'm saying that, because people pleasers are so focused on your external validation, so they will do everything and exhaust themselves down to zero. Let me tell you the dangerous part about that, though. When an individual is willing to sacrifice themselves in such a martyr type of way, right, or experience, and they make a decision to do all of this for you and exhaust themselves to please you, even though people are never pleased, when they get down to zero at the bottom, guess what happens? They have nothing else to lose. They have nothing else to lose. And it's when they get to the bottom and they can no longer please that person that the other person realizes that they don't want the people pleaser. Because we're repelled by what chases us. We are. Because if we really wanted it, we'd be there. So when that person who has given every single thing to the ounce to you and they have nothing left, they have nothing even to live for, then they be coming to look for you. Then they be coming to look for you. And they're coming for blood, literally. Because they don't have anything else. They've given you everything, and everything that they have given you is still not enough. Be very careful playing around with the people pleasers. Be very careful dealing with men who tell you that you are their world. Be very careful of that, because if you are a man's everything and you are a person who is, don't do it. Don't do that. Don't do that. People pleasers are the women people pleasers are the women that's on Snapped. People pleasers are the people that's on Evil Lives here. Yeah. You know why these women snap? It's because over a period of time they've been taking this stuff. It ain't just one incident that happened. They let a lot of stuff slide and they thought, if I kept doing this and this and that. Do not do that. Don't be the people pleaser and do not be with the people pleaser. Because if you are the solution to all of your partner's issues, you will eventually become your partner's problem. See, when you're the solution for everything, because Kairos time is a real thing, that's the seasonal time of ups and downs and ebbs and flows and highs and lows. So, with all of that, when there are lows and when there are difficulties, you were once the high-level solution. You are now the problem. See, this is why I don't let men put me on a pedestal. As soon as a man try to put me on a pedestal and be like, oh my God, you're so great, you're amazing, you're perfect, I'm jumping off the pedestal on purpose. I'm jumping off the porch. Because what you're not finna do is put me on a box. What you're not finna do is have me out here like, oh, I'm just this, and when I make a mistake, you're going to try to humble me and crucify me? Absolutely not, beloved. We don't do that over here. Please and thank you. No. And I mean absolutely not. Absolutely not. Be very careful. Do not be the people pleaser. Do not be with the people pleaser. Understand that people pleasing is a spiritual violation. You will always find yourself being drained and having a problem because you are in spiritual violation. You are not here to please man. That's your problem. See, you're trying to please man and you've made man your God. And you wonder why you being drained. Little guys always gonna drain. They don't got enough supply like the big guy, like the real one. They don't have the supply of the Almighty. They got temporary power. It's little. It's light. Small deities. Little bank. They can't compete or compare. They can't compete or compare. And they need you. Demons need a host. They need a body. They need a vessel. And if you give permission and allow access points, then that is what ends up happening. You get drained. Because their goal is to use you up and spit you out. Thank you, Lovey. Here's where the violation comes in. Because let's talk about the other violation of spiritual law that we got going on. We got the law of leakage. The law of load and leakage. This is basically what you don't process, you perform. What you overcarry, you over control. And it's not ambition. It's literally anxiety in heels. For real. You're not ambitious. You have anxiety and you just happen to be wearing the best heels on the planet right now. Like, it's not edge, it's emotional overdrive. It's not power. Hi, Lovey. It's not power. It's literally panic dressed in designer. Y'all know how to make it look cute. Make it look like it's easy, when in reality it's not that. You are literally giving what nobody asked for. Nobody. And resenting what never arrives. You're doing things that nobody is asking for. But you are wanting and wondering why nothing is coming your way. It's so vital and so important for you to be very clear on this law. And the law is rooted in Corinthians 12:9, okay? Which is, my grace is sufficient for you. My power is made perfect in your weakness. Leaning on your own understanding and on your own strength of trying to develop the idea of yourself instead of being who you were created to be is going to always run you low. You're going to always be leaking energy. You're always going to be exhausted. You're always going to be all over the place. And it's because you won't sit back. You don't know how to sit down. You don't know how to rest. I'm about to tell y'all something very transparent. I didn't even think I was going to give that. How I use this law in true action. And I did it last week. Y'all know my father passed away on the 17th, right? We just buried him on the 31st. The 30th. We just buried him this past Saturday. There were so many things because it happened so suddenly, and I was just all over the place, and I took a week off and I didn't do anything. I didn't work. I tried at one point, but then it felt fake, and I just told the Most High, before I do a fake delivery, I'm not working at all. So I'm just going to trust you in the fullness of that, right? Thank you, lovies. And I remember the Most High sent me to a specific scripture, right? Thank you, lovey. Specific scripture to read, and I read it, and it basically was calling me to step up into a position and lead a certain kind of way in this experience of my father passing away. And I just told the Most High. I was real with him, because I be keeping it real with the Most High. Thank you, lovies. I told the Most High, I said, okay, that's fine. I will go and do whatever it is that you want me to do. But I'm telling you now, I need your spiritual strength. I need your mental strength. I need your emotional strength. And I need your physical strength, because I am tapped out. So I need you, if you want to take my body, I give full-fledged permission, but I ain't got it. And I don't want to lean to my own understanding. I don't want to act in a way that, what I think should be right. I have to pull out of this experience for a minute, and I need you to step into the fullness of that. And what I can tell you is that every single prayer that I prayed for this weekend, for my father's, funeral and everything, all of those things, every single prayer I prayed came to pass. And the Most High gave me the physical strength, gave me the mental strength, gave me the emotional strength, gave me the spiritual strength to be able to do this. Okay? I passed the baton because I ain't got it. I didn't have it. Nothing in this world can prepare you for losing a parent. Do you understand what I'm telling you? And I'm going to also tell you something else. I had been getting a warning in spiritually that I was about to lose a parent, but I was trying to block it out. The thing is this. You have to adhere to the things that you are hearing, and you also have to make sure, and I mean 100% sure, that you do not lean to your own understanding. When you are in this life, walking around on a planet that you didn't create, thank you, my love, for these gifts, these likes, these comments. When you are walking around in a world that you didn't create, you need to ask for direction. When we find ourselves in spaces with sudden laws, we have to ask for direction. And a lot of times we have to ask for strength. Exactly. And that was the verse. That's what that, and just said this is, that's what the law is rooted in. In my weakness, the Most High strength was made perfect. Because when I tell you, I don't know how I made it through the first, before like all the way up until like the funeral and through. I don't know how. I do know how because it was the Most High, because it wasn't me. It was not me. So understand that when you have moments of weakness on this planet, because you will, pain is unavoidable. And I know that, we try to set up things and parameters to try to protect us. Because see, that whole acting powerful, acting intimidating, you're really scared. See, I'm gonna be real with you. I didn't realize when I was 100 pounds heavier, when I was eating my emotions, that the truth of the matter was I was putting on that weight because I didn't really want to be seen. Don't look at me, because you might see how vulnerable I actually am. So then, along with the weight, I wore my anger like a coat. And I was loud and I was brash and I always had a good heart, but they knew you don't play with me. I was on that, but it was pretentious because I was really a softie who did not know how to protect her heart. I was a softie who was afraid of being exposed and being seen. So I put on this armor and this image, this armor of weight and this image of anger, hoping that it would push people away. These are the things that we do when we don't realize. We don't realize that. Your emotional eating has a root to that. It's a root to that. And this is something that you really need to pay attention to. Understand the law of load and leakage that's rooted in Corinthians 12:9. Stop trying to avoid the fact that you got weaknesses. You are not fooling anybody. The beautiful thing about this life is understanding your strengths so that you can amplify them, and positioning yourself to be vulnerable in spaces where you can articulate your needs and not be manipulated, which requires you to discern the people in your circle, the people in your space. These things are very, very important. This is the cost of, let's talk about the cost for a second of staying in this state of performance and trying to, I'm so intimidating. You're not intimidating, you overfunctioning, you overcompensating. You're not intimidating anybody. You don't even have haters, you're creating them. I just don't get along with women. That's the vibrational set and tone that you are setting. So guess what? That is going to always be your experience. You attract women who are the low of the low. There are women and then there are females. Females is a species, and some women just sit at the level of their species. To me, women are the ones who rise above their core nature, who do the work. If you're sitting here and you're not doing the work and you're just sitting here, female, you're not ready to step into the fullness of yourself. You are only identified and you operate according to your species. Okay? So let's talk about what this is going to cost you to continue to be this intimidating person that you really are not, or, and it's really overfunctioning. Number one, in love, that's going to look like you getting praised but never pursued. I mean, people always talk about how attractive you are, how beautiful you are, but they never want to commit to you. They never want to commit to you because they can't really figure you out, because they can see through what's going on. The second way that this costs is when let's say we talk about business, it costs in business because you may get booked, but you don't really get fully seen. You're not really fully seen for the value. You may, and the truth of the matter is this, bottom line, you're going to attract, you attract attention, but not, but not attachment. Not attachment. Respect, but not reverence. You get clients here and there, but not consistency. The toll of performing strength and acting like you are strong while suppressing your softness is making you a slave to these experiences. I'm going to say that again. The toll of you performing strength, you have it all together. You don't have any weaknesses, and while suppressing your softness is what is keeping you a slave to these experiences. And the fact that you're not getting to the root of these experiences is the reason why you're stuck in the time loop of continuous repeating of that cycle. You're meeting the same men in different bodies. You're meeting the same type of women in different bodies, and you're blaming it on, I don't know what's wrong with women, I don't know what's wrong with men. What about, I need to look at what's wrong in the mirror? What about that? Because what is happening in your space that these people are magnetized to you? And what is it about yourself? Thank you, Lovey. All praise to the Most High. That is allowing you to participate in experiences that drain you. Why? Because you don't value yourself. Why? Because you don't understand your innate value. You think that your value comes from what you do, which is why you always tricking all your money away to these fools and helping them build businesses and helping them do all this other stuff that they need to be doing. They are responsible for building their own foundations. That's not your responsibility. Even if you go back and you look at things in scripture, these folks had to work to get women. They had to come with stuff, land, and some more. You're not allowing yourself the full experience because you are not valuing yourself. You don't understand that you are a first class experience. Because if you understood that, you would understand everybody can't afford to ride first class. And I ain't even talking money. See, I understand that I'm a first class experience. I understand what all comes with my first class experience. And one of the highest ticket, the reason why it costs so much to get on my plane and to have my first class experience is because the ticket price is character. The ticket price is your character to get on this plane. Because I need you to know when you get on this plane, we don't mess up this plane. This plane is clean when you get on this plane. There's some nice, snacks and everything that you need on this plane. But we're not getting on here and messing up this plane. Why am I a first class experience? Because of what Genesis said. Genesis said that I was created in the likeness and the character and the image of the Most High. That is a first class experience. Literally says that I would have dominion. First dominion over myself so that I can have dominion over the territory assigned to me. Say la. So the thing is this. This is the value innately that I have discovered and I understand about myself and I understand that I'm a first class experience. You're going to pay with your character. That is your entry. Let me see your fruit. Y'all are not patient enough to pay attention to people's fruit. And I said this on a TikTok that I posted. Women are a communal species, but so many women struggle with relationship is because y'all want to hang out with people who cool instead of checking for people's character. See, y'all cool with hanging out with the girl who's sleeping with old girl husband, but then you want to be in your feelings when she knocked your husband down. A lot of women tend to believe that they are an exception to the rule, and that's what gets y'all in a chokehold and messed up every single time. You think that this woman won't do this to you just because y'all are cool. When you're not checking for character, sweetheart, if you see somebody do something to somebody else, you need to be wondering when you need to be paying attention because your turn coming. Might be 2 days from now, might be 2 years from now, might be 2 seconds from now, might be 2 minutes from now. I don't know. But it's coming. It is definitely coming. I literally cut my good friend off because she's cheating on her husband. Let me tell you something. Smart move. Smart move because the scripture has too many examples where it talks about, here's the thing. Men are not built to handle that type of ego hit, which is why women will say things like, they can't take what we get, what they give. No, they really can't, which is why you shouldn't let them get away with it. Of course not. Nobody should take it. Not even you. They ain't gonna take it. But see, when you, to them, and I'm just going to keep it real. Y'all can take it how y'all want to take it. When a man marries you, he sees you as his property. You don't gotta like it. I'm just telling you what it is. And if you look at the history of marriage, and I wrote about this on Substack, you can go and subscribe and read it. When the covenant becomes a cage, a lot of y'all are under contract that somebody told y'all that God's name was on, and you're not in covenant. See, I can keep it real with you and tell you, people like to say the things. For myself, I was married before, right, for 8 years. People like to say, first thing people come out and say when I was like, yeah, we're going through we're divorce or whatever, and someone said to me, don't let God, don't let no man tear apart what God put asunder. Had to tell him. Had to make it very, very clear. God didn't put that together. I did. See, the Most High didn't put that together. I did. So if somebody can come in and tear it apart, which that ain't what happened, it just wouldn't work. But if that was the case, I put that together. I put that together. The Most High didn't put that together. They didn't know what the scripture was saying, which is why I'm just like, please. And a lot of people have put themselves under contract and not covenant. Really, not real covenant. And I was one of those people, so I get it. I was under contract. You know what I'm saying? And under contract and not under real covenant. Because covenant means agreement. Agreement means that you understand strategically what you are aligning with when you are joining bloodlines. Because you are taking that on. His blessings and his curses that come with his lineage. These are the things that we really need to be paying attention to. And the women could view him as property too. No. No, they can't. No, they can't. And the reason why I'm going to tell you that, because, I try to explain this to women. I want y'all, go read the letter on Substack. I broke down the whole thing about marriage and how it started. When marriage first started, let's go back, marriage was not based on love. That's a 19th century thing. Before that, marriage was, women were traded for property, for land. See, let's get into it. Some of your favorite movies, your traumatic movies that you love so much like The Color Purple. You see how he gave his daughter over to Mr. to trade off. Y'all need to go back and really read. Really go back and read and do the research. It's a link in the bio for my Substack. That's why if you want sacred teachings and real full life breakdowns and you are a reader, you can become a paid reader or you can become a free one where you get awareness. The paid ones get the major strategy. But I'm telling you, you were considered property. Marriage was put into place in a state so women would be property. Also so they could understand and know where the bloodlines and keep the bloodlines clean. They needed to know because guess what? Monogamy wasn't a thing. See, people were sleeping with each other and they got marriage into a streamline in the system to make sure that the bloodlines was clean and we knew who was doing what. And it also was it was money involved. So it's a lot that goes into it. You really should read. Truth, because it says his possession, period. And I'm going to tell you something. The reason why they can't take that ego shot of somebody, their wife, their property, actually cheating on them, because women normally just don't go out here and cheat. That means that there's an emotional experience, there are emotional ties if it got to that point. And that ego, he can't take that hit. And some men lose their mind. And when you friends with a woman like that, and maybe she was using you as an alibi, and let's just say, like I said, what if this man was a people-pleasing man? And he didn't did everything for her. He didn't did everything to try to please her and make her happy, and he's down to zero, and she's cheating. Oh, that'll make somebody snap, especially a man. And the way men have been women these days, I think that was a smart move that you start being friends with her and she cheated on her husband, because y'all could have been together and he could have snapped, been like, you do too. See, y'all be playing too many games. It tell you all through scripture you'll lose your life. You'll lose your life. You cannot be out here playing them type of dangerous games. For real. Stop all the performing. Stop all the acting like, you're this and you're that and you got all this going on. Cast your burdens, please. Stop trying to carry all that heavy stuff. Instead of casting, y'all carrying. Instead of surrendering, you're striving. And your spirit is really suffocating. Your spirit is truly, truly suffocating under the weight of the very image that you have curated. Let's talk about why women curate images. I'm an energetics and identity mentor, which means that I have a very deep understanding and study of energetics. Okay? I was just talking about this with my mentor today. All praises. And one of the things that's really, really important, I think that women have to understand, is that when you don't know your identity spiritually, you can't strengthen your mind or build your confidence properly, which positions you to have low self-esteem and low self-value. Okay? When you don't understand your identity because you are a woman and you seek community and, communal experiences, you're going to adopt an identity. See, this is how the girl who wants to be cool in school gets with the mean girls and adopts the identity of a mean girl, though she's not a mean girl. You have to choose an identity in order to assimilate in this society so you can make friends. So you choose an identity that's going to allow you to be supported in the experience that makes you feel like you belong. But guess what? After years and years and years and years and years of being fake, guess what happens? Now we have a midlife crisis. But you're not really having a midlife crisis. You're having what I like to call an initiation. You've come to a fork in the road. You can continue to be the fake you, which is going to make you sick and eventually cut years off your life. Or you can embrace the fullness of who you are, and you can take the journey into becoming who you are supposed to be. And everything that aligns with you is going to find you in that space. That is really the choice you make. You either going to take the mask off or you're going to let it smother you. That's what happens when you choose a false identity to be in this world. But if you understand your identity spiritually, if you know who you are mentally and you're mentally strong and you're fortified and you have that belief within yourself, then guess what happens? You're going to radiate. Because so many people are trying to be like other people. It's like when somebody comes and they are a breath of fresh air, people flock to them. That's how cults get started. Somebody just got to be the one. Y'all be trying to figure out like how these cults and stuff be getting started. It's the individuality, and the different perspectives along with them being inclusive that makes people feel like they want to come in because they want to belong. That's how easy it is people get into cults. I'm telling you. When you are being yourself, everything that is assigned and aligned for you will find you because you will always be in position. You will always be in position. And that is something that's extremely important. So if you are out here wearing a mask, trying to live up to an image that you've curated so perfectly online, you're not going to be able to sustain that. You're not going to be able to keep that up. Because eventually it's going to drain you. You get exhausted wearing that mask. You do not need to be rescued. You need to be recalibrated. And that's just the truth. You don't want to pretend power. You want to operate from power. This just answers so many questions that my therapist spoke about. Yeah, they tell me, girl. They tell me. I have a lot of clients who have therapists that work with me in conjunction, and I have a lot of clients that leave their therapists and work with me because they feel like they get more progress. So I appreciate that. But let's get into this next law, okay? So we have the law of relational echo. This comes from Luke 6:45. Out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. And what the law of relational echo means, every unspoken need in your body still speaks. You think you're being misunderstood. You're not. Because your nervous system is actually telling the truth on you. He doesn't hear your silence. He feels your control. That's what we're talking about with men. She doesn't read your caption that you put out there. She feels your tension. Okay? These are the things that you have to pay attention to. You can say one thing and your energetics can reveal something else. You can say all day long, I'm not trying to control you, but I'm just trying to understand like why you liking her pictures. I can't believe that's an argument, but still. I'm just going to use that because I heard that recently somewhere. And I was like, what? I'm not trying to tell you what to do, but I'm just trying to understand, like, why you following her. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. You are trying to control it, and he feel that. And men don't respond well to control. They like freedom. They're attracted to freedom. Freedom is a part of their masculine psychology. They need that. They need the autonomy of freedom. Thank you, my love, for these gifts. And when they don't have it, or when they feel restricted, they flee. They flee. And these are the things that we have to really pay attention to. They do confuse love with control. And love is freedom. Freedom of choice is freedom. Allow people to choose to be in this experience with you, not because you're trying to manipulate them and make them. Y'all out here doing love spells. Y'all out here trying to use the laws of suggestion. Y'all out here trying to do all this other stuff and use all kind of laws that y'all don't understand to manipulate an outcome. Y'all don't understand that sorcery? Anytime you're trying to manipulate an outcome, girl, I'm going to get him to be with me. That's sorcery. Thank you, my love, for these gifts. You know that, right? And that normally goes really bad. Listen to the women who be out here talking about they do love spells. And how they switched up on them real quick. You cannot do that. Somebody, that's when they holler, I need space. Sure do. And the space is away from you. That's sure what they be saying. Love spells are so absurd to me. They're so absurd to me. Because the reality is that when you love yourself, it radiates. So I don't want to say you are the spell, but in a sense, like, you are. Because it's like your energy is what's going to let it be known. You don't need to do that. You're trying to manipulate an outcome. That's sorcery. That's sorcery. Like, really. No, for real, though. And then they be casting. And this is the thing I need people to understand. You can't halfway play in darkness. You understand what I'm saying? You can't halfway play in the occult. If you participate in that experience, then you give permission for them, anyone else, to play with you in that same realm. See, when you walk in the door and the door closed, you don't get to decide, oh, okay, I just did my thing and I'm finna leave. No, 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 no. You playing, you gonna get played. And these are the things you have to pay attention to. When you are, and that's what I say with these love spells and all that, you're practicing sorcery. And you're manipulating the mind. And when you mess specifically with a man's mind, you turn him into a madman. Too many of them too unhinged right now for that. Don't do that. Please don't do that. There's definitely a price to pay. Self-love, period. Self-love pulls whatever you need into whatever needs to be in your presence. That's all. Absolutely. And that's really all you have to do. That's all you have to do. Literally. I don't want to have to manipulate the ones that love me. Period. You shouldn't have to. You should not have to. So, bottom line, I want y'all to understand, with the whole intimidating thing and saying all that, you're not intimidating, you're overfunctioning. Let's address that and deal with that. You're not misunderstood. You're just missignaling this thing. And you're not hard to love either. Honestly. You're hard to reach, though, because you're not keeping it real. You're not hard to love, but you are hard to reach because you're not keeping it real. You got the barrier of the fake person going on. You're not too much. You're just unpracticed in your softness. You don't allow yourself to sit and be soft. You are not intimidating. You are overextended, and the truth is you are unavailable. If you're wondering why you keep attracting emotionally unavailable men, you're not available. You're not available. If you wonder why you keep entertaining that, it's because an aspect of you is not available. And you really need to pay attention to that. Because again, a lot of you confuse external validation for loneliness. And then you get in a relationship with someone and you looking crazy because you're not really available for this. Relationships take work. Relationships are a group project. So if you're not doing your own work, working with someone else is going to be hell on wheels, of course. It's not. Working with someone else isn't easy anyway when you're trying to accomplish one goal because you have two complex individuals. People like to be like, oh, I'm simple. Nothing about your design or about who you are is simple. We are all complex beings. It's about understanding the complexities within yourself. But there's nothing simple about you. You have an entire universe that runs on the inside of you that you don't even know and pay attention to unless something feels off on the inside. But you have thousands upon thousands of things running within your body currently. So nothing about you is simple. You're complex. So that's why, and that's one way I support women when they who have the whole mindset of, I'm the cool girl, I'm the chill girl, I'm just simple, it don't take a lot for me. Shut up. You don't know yourself. You're complex, sweets. You're complex. And to get to know your complexities, so you know how to coexist with others. The reason why you don't coexist well with others is because you don't understand your complexities. You don't understand it about yourself. And because of that, we having this friction consistently, okay? So, like I said, you're not intimidating. You're just overextended and unavailable. Let your body hear this. Feel where it lands. A lot of women are in this space where they don't understand themselves and they want to be chosen. They want to be cherished. They want to be pursued. They want to be paid. They want to be seen. They want to be supported. But if you keep trying, how can I say this? If you keep trying to earn what can only be received, like you keep trying to earn what you can only receive, stop saying you need to make more money and start saying I need to position myself to receive more money. Stop saying I need to do this more and I need to position myself for more. Because a lot of you are asking for something that you don't have the capacity for. And this is where you keep finding yourself in this crazy spot. What if the next person that you were dealing with or dating, didn't need you to shrink or didn't need you to soften? What if your next client paid in full and said, just thank you? What if your next breakthrough came while you were resting and not trying to work? That's how your life could be if you position yourself to receive. How do you position yourself to receive? I'm going to give you 6 ways to be able to do it. Number 1, you need to rebuild your spiritual foundation. I'm going to say this, you can take it or you can leave it, but you can't never say I didn't tell you. As a woman, you cannot afford to be out here without a spiritual practice. As a woman, you cannot afford to be out here not having a solid foundation with your creator. You cannot afford to do that. You can't. Because I'm going to tell you something. Society is using sorcery and all types of magic to get you and keep you disconnected from your spiritual core. The only way that you can win against sorcery is for you to be spiritually sound and grounded in the one that created everything. Everything. I'm not talking about your little deities. I ain't talking about your little gods. I ain't talking about them. You have to be rooted in the one who created every ounce of everything on this earth, who has understanding of everything on this earth. Why are you talking to the little fish? Why are you talking to the little fish when there's a Leviathan in the ocean? You talking to a goldfish. Okay? You have to build that spiritual foundation for yourself. Go straight to the source of everything. That's number 1. Number 2, okay? Once you've done that, you need to understand the importance of regulating your nervous system to position you to receive revenue, to receive riches. Riches are in the form of relationships. Riches are in the form of just valuable experiences and things that can be added to your life, not just money. Okay? So the second thing that has to happen is that your faith has to be activated. And your faith is activated by you being calm in scenarios where everyone is telling you to freak out and act crazy and this is happening and all of this and all of that. I told y'all, in every recession, every money problem, it's receivers, it's deceivers, and it's the deceived. Position yourself to be a receiver. Position yourself to be a receiver. Okay? The third thing is this. All right, we've dealt with the spiritual aspect, we've dealt with the regulating your nervous system and the faith aspect. Now we need to get into the third aspect of things. You need to deal with your attachments in love. Women's biggest downfall is disconnection from their spiritual core as well as their connection to men. If you are disconnected from your spiritual core, you do not know how to discern a good man for you versus a man that is not for you. You don't have the ability. I'm just gonna keep it real with you. You can't see. You can't see. You can't see clearly. I've taken a couple of your courses since 2023. They were life shifting. All praises. Thank you. All praises to the Most High. You're gonna have to pay attention to your attachments. Okay? And you're gonna have to rid yourself of them. So not only identify them, but you're gonna have to rid yourself of them. Just because you took a test and the test says that you are anxious attachment style, that does not mean that you have to be anxious attachment style for all of your life. That does not mean that you have to make that your identity. That does not mean that this is going to be like you, the only way you have to love. Attachment styles is really kind of like the new gimmick. Okay? Thank you, my love. It's like the new gimmick. Okay? We're not supposed to have attachments to anything in this world because everything has an expiration date. Yes, society has tricked you into believing that you have this anxious attachment style when the reality of the situation is your feelings and your experiences are rooted in instability. And the instability is what makes you anxious. You do not have... I used to be anxious attachment style. Now they call me secure attachment style. Okay? Now they say I'm secure attachment style because I've healed my attachment style. You are not here to be attached to anything in this world because everything in this world has an expiration date. Women are looking at relationships from a very detrimental point of view, which is why they consistently are always being drained all of the time. Okay? Loving the nervous system is a course that's in the Magnetic Wealth Blueprint. And everything that I talk about, the spiritual foundation building, the regulation of your nervous system, and loving the nervous system, all those things address your attachments spiritually, your attachments financially, and your attachments in dating and love. The whole attachment style thing, y'all, stop saying I am anxiously attached, I am avoidant, I am this. When you say I am, this is what you are rooting your identity in. So whether you realize it or not, you almost are putting yourself under a spell because here you are saying that I'm this. So everything attached to this and what this says about this is who I am. And I'm going to tell you the other thing. This is the issue around when people say I am and then they say their zodiac sign. The issue at hand, yes, when you were born, the sun was in Sagittarius, right? Or the moon was in all these things. Like it's a message, it's a system, definitely for sure, that the Most High created, right? However, when you find your identity in that, then you assign all those traits supposedly to yourself, when some of you will even sit there and say things like, oh, that I don't act like that, I don't do that, but that's how you identify yourself. You put yourself in that position and rooted your identity in that. The issue at hand is that you're not here to root your identity in anything other than who you truly are and whose you truly are. Hi, Lovey, and thank you so much for these likes. And this is what women are not understanding. You are tying your identity to being a Sag. You are tying your identity to being a wife. You are tying your identity to being a mom. You are tying your identity to being a friend. You are tying your identity to your high-level position. All these things. And guess what? When you lose your high-level position, who are you? When you lose your child unexpectedly, are you still a mother? Who are you outside of that? If you lose a husband and you've tied your identity in being his wife and solely that, where are you? Where are you after that? It is dangerous for you to tie your identity. These are roles, or these are positionings. This is not your identity. And this is why you feel like a failure when you don't achieve. because you are a high achiever. So when you don't achieve something, you automatically assume the opposite, that you are a failure. See how quick that could be taken from you? Don't invite yourself into experiences where the rug can be snatched from under you. Everything on this earth has an expiration date, beloved. Women are so caught up in the fact of, let me do all of this so a man won't leave. A man can leave you in death. A man can leave you in death. People die every day, B. Y'all good? Because I want you to really think about this. How to keep your man. You can't keep nobody here. None of you are the Most High. If the appointment is to check out, he can't keep himself, let alone you keeping him. And then we show up as the embodiment of what we tie our identity to. Period. Put ourselves under a whole spell. Period. You put yourself under a spell because you want to identify yourself being small as an attachment style, when you're not even supposed to be attached to anything. Why do I keep as an anxious attachment? Why do I keep attracting avoidance? Because y'all on the same frequency of fear. And when you are a scary cat on the frequency of fear, you meet another scary cat on the frequency of fear. There's your mirror, and guess what? When y'all get together, it's a nightmare. Because why? Y'all was living on Elm Street to start. These are the things that you have to think about. If you going out here, dating, lacking discernment, doing it out of fear, you're going to attract somebody else who is also fearful. And it's going to become a nightmare. Okay? It's going to become a nightmare. Nobody who is on the frequency of love is coming down to join you on the frequency of fear. You're going to have to make a decision to come up. Because people who have risen from the frequency of fear are not coming back down just to play with you. It ain't worth it for them. It's not. So the third thing that has to happen is you gotta rid those attachments. And you can do that in love and the nervous system. The fourth thing is this. You need to understand the power of your feminine design. Understand the science of it. Understand that attraction is a science. Understand how to magnetize things, because these things are very important. The fifth thing that's going to be extremely important if you want to position yourself from that once you've done all of this is that you need to position yourself to get paid passively. Because here's the thing. You don't have the energy, the time, the attention, and probably not even the money for you to go back and acquire another skill set. So what that means is you're going to have to get passively paid, which is number 5. You're going to have to figure out how you can get passively paid, and there are a multitude of ways for you to be able to do that. A multitude of ways for you to be able to do that. The last thing is this. You have to go from manual labor, even if it's mental gymnastics. You have to go from smart work to hard work. And this means you are taking your intelligence and packaging it into a product or a service, and pricing it properly so that you can make the type of money that you want to make. So you're working smart and you're not working hard. A lot of you are thinking, well, I don't really have no skill sets. That's not true. Scripture says you have creative and witty inventions in your very being, according to Proverbs 8:12. The problem is that you've gotten so caught up in society and what society has said that this is what a good skill set is, that you are thinking that your skill set is elementary. You thinking it's small. I posted the other day, I have Substack, right? I've been on Substack 2 months, right? I've already made $1,000 on Substack, passive. All just because I write, right? People told me nobody's going to pay you for writing. There's no money in writing. There's no money in you being able to do that. Nobody's paying speakers. Nobody's paying teachers. I have built a multi-6-figure business off speaking, writing, and teaching. And you want to sit around here and tell me that you don't have no skills? You don't have no skill set that you can't speak, teach, or write that people need? Do you realize that the world has gone so STEM that half of the world can't even read? So they're looking for people who can read, write, okay? And break things down for levels of understanding. See, they got rid of all of the creative arts. So the artists are rising up. We're rising up. So you don't have a skill set? That's insane. You do, actually. You do. And in the Magnetic Wealth Blueprint, I walk you through all of this. You can get it for $222. It's going up to $333. I'm just going to tell you. I know I was supposed to do it last week. Hi, Lovey. But with me burying my father this past Saturday, things kind of got pushed back. So that course is going, that bundle is going up to $333. What's in that bundle is the Deconstruct and Refill Your Cup Masterclass that's going to support you in building that real foundation with your creator. And it's not coming from a place of fear. See, if you're a millennial like me, a lot of us were raised in the church in a sense to where we were told to create a relationship with God out of fear of going to hell, out of fear of this, out of fear of that, instead of actually building a raw, real, righteous, honest relationship. Okay? That is going to support you in a Deconstruct and Refill Your Cup Masterclass. That's the class that my client Delilah used. She ended up getting like 9 clients in like 10 days directly after that. Thank you very much. The second bundle, course that you're going to get in that bundle is the Wealth Alchemy course. That's going to teach you how to rewire your nervous system so that you can regulate to receive riches. Because you got to do that first before you need capacity. Okay? The third course is Loving the Nervous System, where it supports you in getting rid of your attachment styles. I love Loving the Nervous System, and it's so powerful. I love all these courses, but Loving the Nervous System is so powerful for me because women are struggling because women are out here dating with no discernment. Women are struggling because you are out here dating with the identity of your attachment style. And because of that, you're making decisions that are permanent. And you're making decisions that are literally pushing you towards your demise and that are draining you. And I want us to stop that. When you get Loving the Nervous System, which is in this bundle, it's going to help you get rid of that attachment style. When I tell you, when you get done with Loving the Nervous System, your attachment style, you're going to see the reality of everything and you're going to have to choose. It's going to sharpen your discernment. That is the same course that my homegirl, we did a challenge. And one of my homegirls came through and she did the challenge. And baby, she did it, in January? She started talking to this guy in May. They've been flying and doing stuff back. He's about ready to propose. It's August. And she was like, anybody who uses and who gets the Loving the Nervous System, it's going to sharpen their discernment. She's like, it really does help, and it really made me. I've had women attract fiancés. I've had women elevate their marriages. I've had women elevate their relationships. Like, for real. Girl, Mariah, do you? She said in her class to fight, I've officially had my first. Oh my God, I'm so excited. You have to tell me about it. Mariah is one of my clients that's in the Muse Activator. So I'm so excited. So that's what you're going to get in that Love and the Nervous System. It really is going to sharpen your discernment when it comes down to dating. It's going to help you remove those attachment styles. It's going to help you detach from the idea of love so that you become love and you are matched with love. And I'm telling you from what I know. My dating experiences used to be terrible, baby. And everything I teach is rooted in scripture, backed up by science. I'm a nerd. So I literally dissect scripture for hours and different things because I understand the scripture is a book of codes, which is why it's very difficult to read, and which is why you have to sit with it and take time so that it gets revealed to you. It's a book of codes, and when you unlock the codes, you can unlock wealth codes. I'm telling you. So when my clients come to me, they get 3 results, okay? 1 of 3 or all 3. They make more money, they get healthier, and they attract better community, partnerships, and all that type of stuff, romance and community, okay? So those are the 3 things that they get, and all those things are rooted in the codes of things that I have discovered in scripture that are literally backed up by science. So even if you say that you're not a believer, hey, that's your business. That's what I do. I'm a believer. However, even if you're not a believer, the science backs up everything I'm telling you. So attraction is a science. It is, people, they look at it like, attraction is science. And when you understand the science of yourself, And I'm trying to give you game with this. And when you understand the science of yourself, because attraction is science, what ends up happening is that you always seem to have chemistry. Okay? You always seem to have chemistry because you understand how chemistry works. You understand your chemistry. You're paying attention to the chemical. You understand your chemical energy. You're paying attention to the chemical energy of the other individual. And as you know, if you mix two wrong chemicals, you can have an explosion. But if you understand the dynamics of your chemistry, you're able to assess other chemical energy. So when you combine, it does exactly what it's supposed to do. Okay? Thank you so much. I appreciate it. So these are the things that you really have to pay attention to. So love in the nervous system is going to support you, and it's also going to help you rewire your nervous system for stability and steady love. Because a lot of women, the instability of your nervous system, like women will be like, I don't know why I like him. You know, I don't like this back and forth. The problem is your nervous system is trained for the back and forth. So you chase fireworks instead of resting at fireplaces. You chase fireworks instead of resting in fireplaces, in the warmth of fireplaces. And the thing about it is because it requires you to sit still. See, you can't really do nothing. You don't need to really do nothing when the fireplaces are, when it's steady. It's warm. It's going to do its job. It's not going nowhere. Might feel a little boring. But it's boring because you're used to the fireworks and the chase and the anxiety and all of that behind it. That's really what it is. Thank you, my love. Thank you for these gifts as well. Okay? So that's the third course you're going to get. The fourth course you're going to get is the power of your feminine design, where I break down the power of your feminine design. There's the base and attraction and what that looks like. The fifth course that you're going to get is Get Passively Paid, where I'm teaching you specifically how to get passively paid and how the forms to get passively paid. And then the sixth course is Intelligence to Income. This is where I send you assessments. You get assessments and you get the Intelligence to Income class that supports you in figuring out what gifts you have, what strengths you have, and how to package your intelligence into a product so you can get high level income. So that particular course, I was my client one of my clients took, and at the time the course was just like $197 for that specific class. Thank you, lovey. And what ended up happening was, ever since we met and she had that, she's been making from anywhere from $8,200 a month to $8,600 a month to $9,200 a month. She was making $250 for her service at first. Within the first 30 days of us working together, she went from that $250 to $14,000 in offers. $14,000 in offers. Less than 30 days. So the thing is this. A lot of you are sitting on gifts and you're working too hard and you're not working smart. And if you want to start working smart, you want to grab the Magnetic Wealth Blueprint. Because the Magnetic Wealth Blueprint is going to put you in position to receive. It's going to put you out there on the starting point to get yourself in position. And there's no reason why you shouldn't be able to see elevation in the areas of your life spiritually. In your dating life, if you are out here dating, you're going to get sharper in that discernment. And you also going to find out where them dollars at. Where them dollars been at. And you're going to find out that the money always resided within you. Y'all, folks, where the money resides, the money has always resided in you, according to Proverbs 8 and 12. You have creative and witty inventions in your very being, which means that you should never really be broke. Everything could get shut down today, but you got a skill set that can position you for better and for more. That's how you have to be thinking. That's how in tune you have to be with yourself. Because it's very important and very vital. So click the link in the bio to get access to the Magnetic Wealth Blueprint. It is $222. You can get it with Klarna, Affirm, and Afterpay. It is about to be $333. Because what you're getting in that whole entire bundle is really about $10,000 worth of game. Because it's going to say their love and nervous system going to keep you out of therapy. It's going to keep you from repeating those patterns. Because now you know. And see, the thing about knowing is that you become responsible for what you know. You become responsible for what you know. Okay? When it comes down to the money and the gifts and the things you have on the inside of you, you get to choose whether or not you want to continue to be a slave to a system, or if you want to build, if you're going to allow your confidence and boldness to put you in position to receive what you actually deserve to receive. So the Magnetic Wealth Blueprint supports you in making the decisions that you need to make ASAP. It gives you those tools. Um, Other programs that I have is Monetize Like a Muse. You can check that out if you're trying to build. If you have not hit six figures in your business yet, Monetize Like a Muse is going to be the one for you. I've built a multi six figure business from the ground up. The link is in the bio, my love. You click the link in the bio, it's going to take you directly to everything. I've created that from the ground up without hustling. I don't work extremely hard. I set up my structures the way that they need to be so that I can receive. And that's just real. That particular course, because it sets you up on the path to your first six-figure year, that program is about 14. That bundle is $14.97. You get, and you can get the recliner firm Afterpay as well. It's for business owners who want to scale up. What you get in that is Monetize Like a Muse, where I'm teaching you how to make money according to your authentic design. I'm not, no imposter syndrome, none of those things you'll have to worry about, because there's a $10,000 bot that is in that program. In that particular bundle. I created this bot. It's going to ask you a couple of questions. Based on those questions, it's going to create an energetic profile for you, and it's going to list the top 3 skill sets that you have that's going to position you from going from $10,000 to $100,000 in this economy right now. Okay, it's going to lay all that out for you. Then you're going to get the Monetize Like a Muse system that is teaching you how to monetize and how to softly sell without feeling cheesy, without coming across as with desperate energy or anything like that. You literally are selling from authenticity and what people buy into. And then it's a bonus in that you get the Speak, Write, Teach course. This is where I teach you. See, this is where the money really, really resides. Okay? In that particular Monetize Like a Muse bundle, you get Speak, Write, Teach. I teach you how to close a 4-figure contract. I teach you in that how to articulate your value. I teach you how to break the corporate spell. I teach you how to price properly so you get paid the way you want to get paid. I teach you how to stand in the value and articulate the value, so much so that companies see your ROI, which is your return on investment, and they pay you top dollar for your service. I teach you all of that in the bonus of Speak, Write, Teach, as well as getting you on the path on how to sell and different things like that in Monetize Like a Muse. That sets you up to scale your business to 6 figures. And then on top of that, you get a session with me, right, where we're going to be doing Telegram coaching for 7 days, because I want to see your offer. I want to make sure your offer is actually going to sell, because I'm going to tell you the truth. We're going to align with your skill sets to where you're able to do something, right, to where it's authentic to you and you're able to ascend and make the type of money that you truly deserve to make. Okay, so you get the Telegram coaching for me with 7 days where we make sure everything is streamlined and set up. And then 30 days into that, we're going to do a check-in to see how things are going. And if we need to tweak something else to make it better, then we'll do that. That Monetize Like a Muse clarity quiz and that custom bot is what supported one of my clients in getting her first 4-figure client within 2 weeks. I gave her that bot, I think, on 1 month on the 15th. By the 30th, she had sent me a telegram saying, hey, I just closed my first client, my first high-level client. So the money is there. Position yourself to be a receiver. If you want to be a receiver, then magnetize wealth to you. Wealth consists of generational wealth, consists of 5 pillars: financial resources, emotional fulfillment, time freedom, healthy relationships, and growth and purpose. You're going to get all of those things in the Magnetic Wealth Blueprint. It's $222. It's going to go up to $333. Okay? So if you want it, go ahead and get it today. If you want the Monetize Like a Muse system, it's $1,497. And you can get a recliner firm and Afterpay. And then I also have my program, the Muse Activator. The Muse Activator is an 8-week recalibration program. It's a container that supports women in coming into the fullness of embodiment. So the women that come into the Muse Activator are women who understand, who've done the work, who've done some aspects of the work, but they struggle to implement. They struggle to come into the fullness of their embodiment. So what I do is I walk them through an 8-week calibration of activating their inner muse. Why is that important and why is that vital? I believe all women are muses. A muse, by definition, is a source of inspiration. Muses inspire investments. If we were to look at a work of art, amazing oil painting art, right? It inspires people to buy it, to invest, right? So what does it inspire them to invest in? What kind of way? First, they investigate. Tell me about this painting. Tell me more about it. Tell me the inspiration about it. And I want you to think of yourself as this painting, okay? Catch it now. I want you to view yourself as this painting and somebody looking at you, and they are inspired. So they start investing first with investigating. Oh my gosh, tell me more about you. Tell me this. I want to know this. Because they're so intrigued and they're so inspired by you being walking art that they investigate, right? They need to check the fruit out. So after they check the fruit out, once they check the fruit, if it made an imprint on them, which is a high level impression to the point to where it's on their brain, it's on their mind, then you get investment from them, which means investment looks like time, researching you, energy, trying to see what's up with you, attention, and then eventually their money. And this works with corporations. This works with the opposite sex. It works just like that. Women ask me all the time, how do men, buy stuff? And because I have experienced men would give me it's never an issue. And I tell them I inspire investment. And I only deal with men who are inspired by me or who see me as a muse. Because if they see me as a muse, then they're going to investigate what it is I desire. They're going to investigate what it is that I need. They're going to investigate how they can support. They're going to be very heavy in investigating when they see me as walking art, right? And so then from there, the investigation goes into investment. Then he may start giving me time. I want to spend more time with her. Okay? More energy, more attention, more money. This works with people and this works with corporations. You don't manipulate somebody into investing in you. You inspire them. But you inspire them by being yourself. You inspire them by being walking art. And the only way that you can be walking art is for you to fully accept the uniqueness of yourself and your design and your authentic identity. So in this process of 8 weeks, that's what I'm doing, supporting my clients in activating their inner muse. Because when they activate their inner muse, they inspire investment. They inspire investigation. They see ascension. And this is for anyone. So if you are interested in the Muse Activator, the Muse Activator is an 8-week program. It's $2,000. You can get it with Klarna, Affirm, and Afterpay. There's a link in the bio. If it's something that you're interested in and you feel like I can't do the full $2,000, but I can do something to hold my spot, you can do $500 to hold your spot. And then you can pay in 2 payments, 30 days from then and 60 days from then as well. And that's how you can do that. If you want the spot, you have to DM me the word spot, because the link for the $500 deposit, you're not going to be able to get with the link in my bio. It's going to give you the paying out full. So if you want the $500 spot, make sure that you not click the link. Make sure you DM me the word spot. I'm going to send you a link. Once you pay, I'm going to send you your contract. Once you sign your contract, you're going to schedule your one-on-one with me. Once you schedule your one-on-one with me, we're going to have our session. It's going to be a powerful session. We have that powerful session, and then you're going to start the Muse Codes. The Muse Codes is your initiation process before activation. 7 days before you come in, there are 7 days of codes that activate that initiate and sharpen your discernment, your clarity, your devotion, all the things of your feminine that need to be reactivated and you need to be walking into. We initiate in that process for 7 days before you come into the group. The first week that you come into the group, immediately we doing nervous system recalibration. Women who come into the Muse Activator, normally one aspect of them is that they're in business and they want to make more money in business. They want a quantum jump. So the women that come into that space, they want to make anywhere from $100,000 to $500,000. And when you are wanting to make the jump from $100,000 to $500,000, right? There's a process, and I'll break down the process real quick. If you're trying to go from 0 to 10,000, you need to work on your mindset. Your first 10,000 is all mindset. You have to wrap your mind around somebody paying you $10,000 straight. You have to wrap your mind around receiving that outside of the form of a job or a paycheck. So you have to reframe your mindset in order to receive that first 10K. Your 10K to 100K requires an identity shift. It requires inner child healing, okay? Because you're going to fight yourself to that first 100,000, all right? That 100,000 to 500,000, or even going into the state of wanting to be a million. What it requires is nervous system recalibration, as well as mirror work. Mirror work in the sense of reflections. All of your relationships, because here's the thing, when you start bringing in more cash flow, you have to start checking your relationships. At every new level of growth, you need to assess yourself and the people around you. I don't care. At every level of growth, you need to assess yourself and the people around you. Okay? Because if you don't do that, you're going to position yourself to get played. How people mess up the money is who they are in relationship with. Friendship or even romantic. You need to look at the reflections in your mirror, because everybody in your life is a reflection of your mirror. It's a reflection of self in some point. And if you don't like that aspect of self, or you don't care for that relationship, then you need to elevate your essence. And when you elevate your essence, that relationship is either going to rise or it is going to fall off on its own. But you have the responsibility of doing the work. That 100,000 or 500,000, women be letting people mess it up. Women be letting people mess it up. And I'm not even talking about people they married to. This would be people they're just dealing with. They let people mess them up. That's why you hear all these people saying, I created a 6-figure business and then I blew it because I didn't know, what was going on. I didn't know what I was doing. I had all these people. It's a difference. So if you're in a space where you need to recalibrate, you're ready to jump in that type of space, then the Muse Activator would definitely be the program for you. We're starting next week. We officially kind of started this week, but our first session is going to be next week. So I still will take maybe 2 more people into the Muse Activator. I paused a little bit as far as talking about it, for 2 weeks when my father passed away. So currently I have 3 women that are in it. I'm actually okay with the 3, but I'll allow 2 more spots if women are open. But yeah, that's it, guys. We have the Muse Activator, the Magnetic Wealth Blueprint, Monetize Like a Muse, and I will answer whatever questions you guys have. I'm going to take some quick questions. What questions do you have? Let me know, and I'll answer them really quickly before I get ready to go, if any. If not, totally fine, because I can go do my workout. But if so, drop them in the comments, or my second workout, Lord, because I did my first one today, this morning. So any questions, drop them in the comments. But y'all, please stop performing. Stop saying you intimidating. You're not intimidating. Nobody's intimidating. I promise. What if you're starting completely from the bottom, living in your car and getting funds together? So if I was living in my car and I had access to my phone, and I'm looking at your title, it says passive income with a purpose, I would be really serious about getting on live and talking to people about the masterclass that I'm having on how to create passive income with a purpose, so that they feel confident and they're consistent about showing up and marketing and promoting this. I would host a masterclass. I would host a masterclass for like $111. I would do everything on my phone from Zoom. I would have the class be 60 minutes. I would have 5 core points where I talked about how they can create this passive income from purpose. It would be a framework, and I would be able to show how they can get results and be able to increase their income. I would talk about how this is going to save them time and energy for trying to go back to school, when they can create something that they can put out there and be paid for. I would be talking about the benefits that they get from having passive income. I would be talking about all of those things. So if I was in that position, I would be making everything happen from my phone. And the reason why I can tell you this very strongly is because my first $100,000 came after I left for my husband to get divorced. And as soon as I filed for divorce, I was so stressed and I was so sad and I didn't know what I was going to do. And I literally got in scripture and talked to the Most High, and the Most High revealed a code to me in scripture about how to create the life you desire using Genesis. I recorded a video. I told the Most High I did not want to post it online, but Most High was like, okay. But I was obedient and I posted it anyway, and that is the video you will see on my page right now where it went viral. And that video supported me in creating one product, and that one product made me $25,000. So that month that I left my ex-husband and I decided I was doing this, I didn't have nothing. Rest my daddy. My daddy gave me some money so I could leave. The next month when I filed out, I hit my first 5-figure month. See, when you in the trenches and you at the bottom, you get creative. Some of the most creative people in the world are in jail. Do you see the meals that they make? Do you see the things that they sow? Do you see all of these different things? Like, not having options is a great push towards you being able to create something great. So I would host a masterclass for $111, and I would aim to get 10 people in that masterclass at minimum, and I would talk about it on TikTok. I would talk about it to everybody I know. I would talk about it in all spaces. I would send emails. I would do all of that, because business is a numbers game. So if you get more people in front of more people who have a passion and who have a purpose and who really want passive income, you will get paid. And you can do it from your phone. And also, by the way, my first $100,000 that I made it from a broken phone. My camera was broke all through 2022. Cause I had my camera. It was a little. You can go back and look at some videos all the way back down. It was like a little glare in it. $100,000 from a broke phone, and it was It was an iPhone 8 Plus. Like, it was super old. And I had it since 2017. So, get it cracking. From the car. It's a lot of people I see making so much money from the car. For real though. That's a quick hot $1,000 right there. You need 10 people, 111. You can get a free Stripe account. Set that up. You got a bank account. The money can be going over there. You can listen. Quickly. What if I am not ready just because of the family around me? Then you are allowing external stimuli to control your experience. And you have to ask yourself, how long are you going to allow external stimuli to control your reality? Because the reality that you are experiencing are based on your innermost. It's based on your innermost. So why are you allowing the outer to do the most? When it comes down, this is your innermost. Hi, loving. So that's what you got to ask. You got to really pay attention to yourself. You're giving external stimuli too much power. External stimuli can be your family as well. Set boundaries. I'm big on boundaries. Okay? This is good for my business. Someone asked me, what would I do if someone asked something? I think you said something I didn't know. But I said I'm not going to pretend to do it either. Yes. Because why? Why? If it's something that I don't know, I'm going to tell you I don't know. Or I'm going to tell you this outside of my scope, you know? I'm going to tell you this outside of my scope. If I don't know, I don't know. If that's not my specialty, I don't know. And if I have someone who I can connect them to, I'll connect them to them. But I only speak on what I know. So I'm with you. I'm with you. Any other questions? Any other questions? Okay. Any other questions before I get ready to let y'all go? Lord, I got so much to do. I have so much to do for the rest of the day. Okay. I'm not seeing any questions. This is going on YouTube. So you're welcome, lovey. Thank you. This is going on YouTube. You can click the link in the bio to get access to my YouTube. You can click the link in the bio to get my Substack, to get any of my courses or anything that's going on. Click the link in the bio to get access. Like I said, the Magnetic Wealth Blueprint is going up to $333 because the value of it is about $10,000. You can utilize that and really change your life. So just head on over. I can't wait to see you guys there. I'm super, super excited. Thank y'all for being here. And happy Tuesday. I don't know. I may be live tomorrow. I'm not sure. I'm going to see if that's going to be in alignment. But if not, then I'll be writing for sure. So you guys are so welcome. I hope that y'all have an amazing day. Peace, y'all.